Welcome into the conversation. It's your occasional host, Adrienne Lawrence. And today's guest is Oton Nolasco, the co-founder of Know Us Without You. That's a nonprofit charity that provides food security for undocumented back of house staff and their families in the LA area. So Oton, undocumented immigrants, they make up roughly 10% of the state's entire workforce. And the undocumented hospitality workers are the backbone of our hospitality industry. Why is there such a pressing need to support them?
You know, in Los Angeles, several chef friends that I've spoken to, the number is probably closer to 70 to 75% undocumented staff back of the house. You know, it's important because they're not eligible for any unemployment, any stimulus checks. Even though they pay into the system every week through their paycheck, they get taxed, but they're not able to recoup any benefits during this pandemic shutdown.
Wow, that's incredible. The thought that you are eligible to pay taxes, but you're not eligible to get any money back when you're in need. Yeah, that's a definite problem. And so what are the services that you provide?
Primarily, the primary focus is gonna be food security. We're able to feed a family of 4 for 1 week for $33. We are providing over 100 pounds of food for every family. We also have job placement, tutoring. We are also feeding our neighborhood that our office is located in Boyle Heights in a suburb of Los Angeles.
That's fantastic. It must feel so incredibly rewarding to know that you are changing everybody's lives and also being of such service right now during this global pandemic where a lot of people are out of work, especially with all these restaurants shut down. What's the feedback that you're getting from the community you're helping?
I mean, to be completely honest, they'd rather not have us provide food security. They want to go back to work. They're used to working 2 to 3 jobs. This is a very hardworking people. They're not always comfortable with our assistance, but they know it's necessary right now just till they are able to, get even a few shifts a week at some of the restaurants that are open. So, yeah, if they had it their way, they would just like to go back to pre-pandemic days of working 2 to 3 jobs.
Yeah, well, I definitely can tell you that they are not alone in that sentiment. It's been very difficult on pretty much so many of us who are not able to fulfill our purpose. But I'd love to also talk about what really inspired you to start a program like this.
My partners and I, we are in our former lives, we're bar and restaurant consultants. So when the shutdown, when we saw it looming, we knew right away that the people in the back of the house were going to be the most impacted, and we really worried about them because, my partner Damian Diaz and I, we've often only ate one time a day while operating bars and restaurants, and it was always the undocumented back of the house workers that would make us a plate of family meal and literally make us sit down to eat. So we got upset that we saw a lot of GoFundMe starting that were focused on the front of the house, the wait staff, the bartenders, the people you see, and we knew that these people were going to be in really bad financial shape if this was going to last any amount of time that they were predicting.
Absolutely, and I'd like to think as well, given your background working in the bar service industry, that you probably had a lot of valuable skills that you were able to use to really make this come to fruition. How did your background help you be able to essentially start this incredible project where you are serving people's needs, making sure they have food, making sure they have services?
I mean, it's a little translation. Our skill set is just transferring over to this business, and we treat it as a business. The families we serve are our guests. We're very fortunate that the about dozen or so volunteers that we have are very close friends, former coworkers. They're all bartenders and chefs, and they've ran restaurants and bars, and they know how to be hospitable, how to treat people, and not only worry about their health and their safety, but also their dignity, and to treat everyone as a paying guest, if you will. So we couldn't do it without our amazing volunteer staff. It's so seamless. If you could watch us operate, we've learned so much in the last 7 months on how to just constantly improve our systems to become more efficient and just make sure that everyone's taken care of.
Oh, that's fantastic. And with Know Us Without You, I understand it was launched in about mid-March, correct?
March 19th, yes.
Wow. And that was at the height of things kind of starting to do this shutdown setup. And I know your goal, it was to kind of feed 30 families a week, but now you're feeding over 1,000 families a week. That's huge, man.
Yeah, it started off with 10 families that we knew that we had worked with for years. And we just went to a restaurant supply company and spent our own money, loaded up our truck and fed 10 families the first day and then another 10 the next day. And yeah, now we're over 1,300 families a week that we're providing food security for. I mean, that's over, that's close to 5,000 people a week that we're responsible for in terms of food security.
Oh, wow. That just must feel so good to know that you're making such an impact in people's lives. And so if you can tell me, maybe if you can pinpoint one or two things, what do you attribute to being the reason you've been so successful to reach and connect with so many people?
I would say honestly that everyone that we know and love and respect in our hospitality industry has helped us at one time or another grow and succeed. When we didn't have refrigeration space, our good friend Cindy at Crafted Kitchen made sure that we had all the space available that we needed. Every chef that we've worked with or had the pleasure of dining with has helped us, either providing Chef Antonio from Dama called us and said, hey, like, come clean out the kitchen, take all the dry goods, take all the beans, take all the rice, all the tortillas, anything you guys need. We're not going to use it. Like, take it, feed the people. So we've just been fortunate to. We're not rich. We're not rich people, but we have a lot of wealth and friends. So we're fortunate to have been taken into this journey with really good friends.
Well, you're definitely rich with love and support. And that is something that goes very, very far, especially right now in this pandemic. And speaking of someone else that's pretty rich, state of California. In April, California Governor Gavin Newsom, he announced that they'd be giving some 150,000 undocumented workers stimulus checks, 500 to the individual, 1,000 to the families, as part of a $125 million stimulus package. But the reality is that ain't enough. And it's not gonna sustain anybody for months. We all know that. And so I know that getting the resources that from the government and being able to use those would be great. But what would you like to see the government do to provide the support that's necessary?
I would just like them to worry about everyone, regardless of their legal status, if you will. So much of America, if you look at all the news outlets, there's a lot of people that are hurting that need food, and there's people that have never ever taken any type of food charity that are now having to do that just to put food on the table. And at the end of the day, we're just humans feeding humans, and we have plans to continue trying to provide food security for anyone that needs it. Moving forward, this isn't something that we're going to do part-time. We're in it for the long haul. Our 501c3, like, this is our new calling. We just want to make sure that people have food.
Oh, I love that. And you're absolutely right. That is an incredible message. And I hope more lawmakers will get it and get right with it, for sure. And so people can just kind of get to know you a little bit. Other than serving individuals who are in need, what do you do recreationally for fun, especially during a global pandemic?
We golf, and this actually idea was kind of born on the golf course, because you're out there by yourself. It's kind of the one thing you can do right now that's socially distant. So we all kind of came to the same conclusion that we needed to do something. So thankfully, golf is in our life.
That is a good thing to have golf in your life. I thought you might have said edibles, because that's generally the people I talk to. That's what we're all doing, because my God, to be able to sustain this current environment that's going on, it's mind blowing. But do you have any plans in particular when it comes up to this election? Any thoughts?
We've encouraged everyone to vote that we know, and I think it's important because right now America kind of has the president deserves. So hopefully people will take to the vote and take it seriously and know that it's not something that it is a civic duty. It's not something we can just not do that day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. And can you tell everyone where they can connect with you all, make donations, and really support the effort that you're putting together?
Oh, thank you so much for that. So our website is www.knowuswithoutyou.la, or Instagram, knowuswithoutyou. And we have a link there to our website. You can donate Venmo, PayPal, everything. Thank you.
Yes, and $33 feeds a family of 4 for 1 week. Please make that donation. You know, giving back, it really feeds the soul. I impose it upon you. Thank you so much, Otone Nolasco. We really appreciate this.
Thank you so much and have a great rest of the evening.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.